Hey guys, new video here. I think you can probably hear me better now. So I did complete what's called the stage 1 upgrades, air intake, full exhaust, ECU flash. And you know, I have my opinion of all that. So let's take a look at the dyno from DHM real quick. And the blue line is stock. So as you can see, it's pretty crap, especially at 7,000 to 8,000 to 9,000 RPM. The dark blue line, or sorry, the red line is theoretically what I should have at the moment. So you know, as you see, the power is very linear, and max horsepower is at 8.64 RPMs. 8,640 RPMs. So here's the thing. I called my local tuner, and unfortunately they can't do a dyno run for me unless it's for, like, it'll take 2 hours or a minimum to set it up and then to do a dyno run. So that's like $200 or something plus, right? So it's kind of not worth it to do the dyno run. So what's my impressions of everything so far? You know, it kind of is not worth it. Take a look at the green line, right? So that's the first flash, and I believe that's either with only an intake or with no intake at all. So an intake is not expensive. It's like the one I have is the airbox modification, which is $80, and at most you're spending $180. So my exhaust is the high mount Tyga exhaust, which, you know, it's good, but take a look at this graph. It's not, you can tell it's not really worth it, right? Compared to the green line. Really, if you really just want an improvement, I would say just get an air intake and get a cheap, like, eBay exhaust or something like that for $150, and just get the ECU flash, and that would be like sub $400 in total, and you'll probably be making around the same horsepower that I am. So let's go over kind of like, now I have, like, so that's my opinion of it. It's kind of not really worth all the work for the price. Okay, so now I'm just going over some videos. So this is the ride. I rode it. I let the ECU settle in for 10-15 miles before really kind of just measuring things and seeing how things work, seeing what the improvements are. So it's definitely peppier, and I kind of agree with this dyno curve that we just saw. There's definitely more power up there, but right now I'm at like 68 in with a tailwind, and then like around 60 with a headwind, and that's not bad. So considering stock, I would say it would be like 62 with the tailwind, and then maybe like 58 with the headwind, or 57. So that's definitely an improvement. It could even be as bad as 55 with the headwind. And on the first day that I installed the new flash ECU, it was extremely windy, like very windy, and I was still able to maintain like 57, 58, almost like 60 into a headwind, so which is very good, right? So that's, you know, definitely a plus. And all this stuff is done like sitting upright, okay, which is important because you don't want to kind of be hunched over all the time. So here I'm going, and so I missed shift here, so I can't really get it to top speed about, and I'm running out of tarmac soon too. So I'm slowing down. So now I'm gonna let this guy. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. Wait for that guy to turn to just go. So I have a little bit more. So now I'm revving it out. see, third, fourth, I can get to 60, and then I switch to fifth. And mind you, this is with a tailwind, slight, no, 65, 66. Not very impressive. Not very impressive, given how much I spent on this. So I spent like 750, mostly on the exhaust, which I don't think it's actually worth it. So I would say, just going back to that, the dyno curve, if it's from DHM, if it's actually even accurate, what I would suggest is to just buy a cheap eBay exhaust that's open, doesn't have any of the baffles or any of the restrictions that stock has. And you should probably be really close between the red and the green line. So getting to the blue line, I think that's kind of really where, kind of really important, not important, that's a really nice, there's a huge difference between the blue and the red line, like almost a horsepower at that level. So that's the cam. So let's just say, I would say do the cam. So the problem with the cam is that it doesn't look tricky. It's just, number one, I don't have a torque wrench, so I don't know what, how hard to torque, when you open up when you torque back the cam sprocket and all that stuff. I don't know what it is, so I hesitate to do that. But I would say the takeaway from this is, number one, okay, in terms of goal, I'm not at 70. I'm at 67, 68, right? Am I comfortable on a 55 mile per hour road, given that I can go 67, 68 in the wind, 60 with a headwind? Relatively comfortable. Better than before when I was struggling at 55 or 55 to 60, right? So now I'm at 62 to 66, I would say. That's, it's not, okay, yeah, you're right. I gotta fix this cam. It's pretty cheap. It's not really on my helmet very well. So here it almost fell off. I just miraculously caught it. So I would say, yeah, I mean, that's kind of that's my verdict on it. I think the dyno here speaks for itself. You could get the Yoshi if you want it, but yeah, not worth it, guys.